So happy Friday. Such a good day, Fridays, although sometimes the days seem to go uh, from day to day, and I don't even know which day it is. But today I know it's Friday, and um, I'm very, very happy to say my gratitude today for last night. I had a fundraiser at my house for my charity that I work on, Women and Girls, called Seroptimist, and we had a sponsor party because we're having a wine affair on Sunday, a sip and stroll throughout our mall of retailers and music and wine, and the sponsors that came were business owners from all over the community. And I had told Robert like a year ago that I really wanted to branch out and get back involved because I had retired my company, and I wanted to get involved in back into the Seroptimists and get involved in the different fundraisers. And ultimately I wanted to have something at my house so that I could go deeper in these relationships. And last night, we had just a great party. It was super fun to see all these people, and I felt like that all of that just meeting of new people and just learning about what they do and learning about why they like Seroptimists and why they're involved was so great. And I feel such gratitude for having the opportunity to be part of something like that. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Today we're going to talk really quickly about social media. And, social media has always been kind of a mystery to a lot of people on how to use it properly for business and socially. And so I think we all start out socially, and with all the stuff that's been going on this week with Mark Zuckerberg in Congress and just what's going on. Some people are a little gun shy with social media, and some people, are trying to figure it out on how it can work to their advantage. And some people just want to, stay off of social media and not have to deal with it. Some people, it varies from time to time. And I have to say, from time to time, it varies with me. Sometimes I think I just don't even want to see social media. But what I've noticed over the last several years, and especially in the last year, of really how I'm doing my social media, and some of it is very calculated and some of it isn't. What I've come up with is some success keys. And so if you have not put up a Nerium business page, it's a good idea to do that, because you can start to grow that page with people that are not only your customers, but if you're tactical about it, you want to invite your customers and say, hey, I'd like to invite you to my Nerium page, where you're going to be able to see the latest products, and you're going to have the latest information, and it's a resource for you to always go. And if you have any questions or whatever, you can always post a question and I'll answer it for you, and really start the conversation. It's a way of not feeding your entire personal page, all your Nerium, because a lot of times, people, if you've noticed on social media, if you post an ad, you probably, if you post an ad, meaning like sharing, which I did the other day, which I thought was so great, on my team page about the Cosmopolitan ad, which I think is great. I mean, I was so excited about Cosmopolitan because when I was younger, that was one of the magazines I read all the time. So they chose our eye patches to be, the best eye patches out there. And that's just a great tool, to be able to share with your friends and people. But if you start to develop your friends who really like Nerium, or that might have an interest, or you can actually promote your page, you can post that stuff on your page, and it doesn't necessarily go into your personal, unless occasionally you want to dribble that in there. Because if you'll notice, a lot of times people don't like things on your personal page, or at least I've noticed on mine, business stuff. If I put a picture of me and Robert at the golf course, 100 people will like it. But if I put a picture about, EHT and how it's saving the world, one person will engage. So it's very interesting how that all works. So you really want to have your own page, and you really want to make sure that you're attracting the right people to that page, and that you're not driving people away from your personal page because you're putting way too much of the Nerium information or whatever it is that you're doing. So the channels that mostly people are on are Facebook, Instagram is a real big one, LinkedIn more for business, and Twitter. And your landing page is what I'm talking about. And of course, you can always, if you have another CRM besides GoProspect, you can integrate that with GoProspect or whatever it is you're using. And that integrates to all your social media and, of course, the email marketing. So engaging. So I kind of talked a little bit about this, but how popular your post is based on the views, comments, likes, and shares. And interestingly enough, I was talking to a social media person here last night at my company, and she's a good friend of mine. And I was telling her, I said, you're such a good friend of mine. I rarely see your stuff on Facebook. I actually find myself going to your name, clicking your name, and going onto your page because I rarely see that. And she goes, well, Annie, do you like my posts? And I said, well, I think I do. And she goes, well, if you're not liking my posts, I'm not going to show up in your feed. So that's another thing. If you want people to engage in your feed and engage, you have to engage with them. So you can scroll in and out of people's pages, but if you don't engage with them, it's pretty likely they're not going to engage with you, and they're not going to show up, and you're not going to show up. So engaging with people is great, and making sure that they engage back with you is a good strategy. And one of the messages and values that in your own way that you want to do is, on your page, I think is more apropos, is why you're different. Who might need your services? How do you do a better job than anyone else? What's the goal in providing your services? And when did you start working in the industry? People, once you get a landing page and you start to promote that landing page with content, those are the people that say, yes, I want to see your stuff. I want to get your information. And when you have your own page, Randy's going to talk about this in the next couple of weeks. You can actually promote certain items on that to your network. Okay. So it's very important to cultivate that page with the right people. So rules of engagement: know who your target audience is. Once you have a landing page, you can actually target the promotions, things that you're doing with zip codes, income ranges, interest, behaviors, buying, selling, niche marketing. There's a lot of really cool things that you can do if you want to do that. But again, it's almost like we've talked about the CRM or your GoProspect, utilizing those types of things to be in touch with people on a more regular basis. And so a lot of times if you email something, you can always put in there, hey, and if you want to find me on Facebook, it's Facebook / Annie Schwartz, Nerium, whatever it is, .com, click on this link and like my page. People need to be asked. Probably once every 2 weeks, I'll send out an email to a bunch of my friends and say, would you like my page? It would really help me build my brand if you would like my page. I get the same request, so I don't mind doing it, right? So you can manage your friends list. You can put on your landing page about how you want to be social, your response time. You can put your strategy together and really target your audience by people that really want to hear from you. And it is a consistent way of delivering that information. So you create your target list, right? And you search your mutual friends on Facebook, friend mutual people, connect with the local vendors, even people like, for instance, I just went through my tennis list of emails, and I realized that I play tennis with probably in a month, maybe 20 to 50 women I see every single day. And do you know that only 5 of them in the last week were friends of mine on Facebook? I had to literally go one by one to friend them. And I couldn't believe that they were not my friends already on Facebook. It was crazy. So that's a way of really realizing, if you run into somebody and you think, oh yeah, of course they're on Facebook, or maybe you'd like them to go to your landing page, you really want to just connect with them and say, hey, I'd love to share with you some of the things that I'm up to. Connecting with local vendors, tradespeople, use Google Docs or Excel sheet for tracking. That's getting to a whole nother level. and craft messages to send to the targets and throw a mixer and invite selected targets. So here's another really great idea. When you have a landing page and locally you know the people that are living around you, you can put events together, meetups, different things where people that are interested in what you're doing, you can do a little wine event, or you can do a little sip event of your, try your products or your health and wellness, or you can target it as much as you want. And although that does take time to set this up, but once you do and you go along, it gets easier and easier to really master how to target this. So guidelines for posting. You want to post 2 to 3 times a day max, and a minimum of 2 to 3 times a week. If posting more than once per day, spread out your posts so that you are not competing with yourself. If you have a post with great engagement, run with that and don't post again. So if you see that you posted something and it is getting a lot of attention, you don't need to post again because it's taking care of that itself. You'll notice when people like your posts and you're already like at 20 people liking it, well, that's showing up on their feed and then on their friends' feed, and it's kind of going viral. That's the way it works. So when you find something that's working, just let it go, let it run. So Facebook, you boost your Facebook posts to get more exposure for them. Twitter, you conduct a Twitter chat with your followers by posing questions. So if you're on Twitter and you read Twitter stuff, a lot of it is, depending upon who you're friends with on Twitter, it can be a lot of different stuff. There's a lot of advertising going on, but there's a lot of conversations. So if you have conversations that you want to talk about or post conversations, you have to build up your friends on Twitter to be able to have that engagement. I've posted things on Twitter and no one does anything with it because they're just sort of statements, but you can definitely engage. Instagram, it says put on your graphic designer hat and develop images. Well, I'll tell you, just one picture on Instagram with a little caption is really powerful. Also, there's a way of hashtagging on Instagram so it goes kind of viral, and that's something that I'd probably have to show you live on how to do, but it's pretty significant on Instagram on how to make that go. Pinterest is another one. You'll see a lot of stuff on Pinterest in terms of pictures and before and afters and things like that. But again, it's all about your own network of people. And as you develop that, it gets very targeted. So the times of day, Facebook, between 12 and 3 or 6 and 9 weekdays. That makes perfect sense, right? People at lunch, they'll go through their, Facebook when they get home. Twitter, anytime, find your audience. A lot of people on Twitter have it on their phone. So if they are, if they have free time and they're going to go to Twitter, it's pretty much pops up during the day on your phone. LinkedIn, between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. weekdays. Instagram, between 3 p.m. and midnight. Pinterest, anytime, find your audience. All of this really is find your audience. Facebook, LinkedIn, 2 to 4 posts per week, 2 ads per month. So we're going to talk about ads another time. 4 boosted posts per month. So you can boost your ads once you put them up. If you get a lot, Facebook will tell you, you got a lot of interaction on your ad. Would you like to boost it for another 2 weeks, another 3 days? And you can quantify it how much money you want to, for sometimes if you want to spend $5 in one day on a boosted post that's getting a lot of attention, that sponsored ad will come up in the feed over and over again in that one day. And that may be a specific promotion that you want to run, or something that, is time sensitive that you have to call a call to action maybe. And then you want to tag yourselves on your posts. And these are getting a little bit more, this over here, the elements of Facebook and LinkedIn posts. So branded hashtags, are very interesting because, they target an audience. And then also your images and your call to action we just talked about. Calls to action are really effective, you guys, but you've got to do them in short spurts. You've got to give people urgency, okay? That's really important. So here's some ideas on what to post about. I think family is one of the number one thing, along with your hobbies. People really love seeing pictures of what you're up to, lifestyle. And just to give you a funny little example, Robert did a loan for a guy, I think I've mentioned this before recently, who's probably in his late 20s, and he developed a YouTube channel just on his lifestyle. And on that YouTube channel, all he does is, you know, put the camera on himself and show what he does on a daily basis, whatever lifestyle he has. And he made like $400,000 last year in YouTube ads for his lifestyle because he has so many viewers. And he ended up buying like an $800,000 home, and it's consistent money. I mean, he makes it every year. And his girlfriend does the same thing, but she puts on makeup. So, you know, it's pretty incredible that people just want to see what other people are doing. Personal development, inspiration, happiness, you know, all of that, health, business, career, and job. You know, you got to be careful on how you do that, because if you'll notice, and you could probably go on anybody's feed to see what really gets a lot of attention, what doesn't. You know, when you're talking about freedom and benefits of your Nerian business, you know, you want to frame that in a way that goes to an audience and creates an audience that's really looking for that. Your hobbies are a big one. How you contribute to service, you know, things like that. Celebrations are great. Accomplishments are great. And of course, before and afters, I think are, you know, can be very compelling for the right audience. Yeah. So tips for your posts. Followers are responsive to posts that command attention. Ask questions, create curiosity, use hashtags. So on Instagram, you can go to hashtags.com and you can put in a word that says, you know, skin. And all of these hashtags will come in. Skin for you, I love skin, da, da, da. And all those hashtags you can copy and paste on your Instagram. And it'll kind of go viral out to all of those. And you'll notice that you'll get a lot of likes on Instagram and people will see what you're doing. The real magic to social media is that you calendar it into your life and that you be consistent with it. It's like everything else that you do. If you're not consistent and it shows up once in a while, people don't really respond. But if you're constantly, notice on your own feed when you get sponsored things or things show up, notice why that is. Most of the time you see a lot of stuff from the same person or the same ad or the same thing. It's the consistency that draws your attention, and subliminally it creates interest, right? So elements of a good tweet on Twitter: less than 140 characters, proper grammar, call to action, URL, image or video. Now, this is really cool. You can put an image or video on any social media pretty much. And that's really what people engage in. And you don't want videos that are 20 minutes long. You want videos that are, you know, less than probably 2 minutes, if that, okay? Really important because people's attention spans, unfortunately. Instagram, clean, precise, clear, 1 to 2 hashtags, tag users in the post. Hashtags are a big thing on Instagram, okay? Expanding your engagement. So you want to join different groups that have common interests, okay? You want to complete your profile and you always want to respond. So for instance, I try to do this, sometimes it can be very time consuming, but if you get a post that people are responding to and they say something like, even if they like it or they just say great info or hi or whatever, you want to go into the reply and you want to reply, hey, how are you? When you reply to your posts and you like them or reply to them, it creates some more attention to the post, okay? And that's about the algorithms, okay? Increase your Facebook likes, share posts from your Facebook page, and hashtags. That kind of gives you an idea of what the hashtags look about. So Facebook and LinkedIn, they don't care about hashtags. Instagram, as I said, they love hashtags. Use a tool like Evernote to keep your hashtags all in one place. You know, I go to hashtag.com, but you can do whatever you want. Repetitive use, the same hashtags get you noticed. Consistency is key, as I said, which is always the number one problem for most people. That's why they hire people to do social media, because it's hard to be that consistent. So I'm a big proponent of making it unhard, and you can go on to Hootsuite or different things to help you post on a timely manner throughout the day. If you want to do that, you can actually schedule your social media, and there's ways of doing that, but we don't have time for me to go into all that stuff. So again, I want to remind everybody about the fact that it's very important to promote and go to your regionals and get your new people there. Tomorrow I'm going to be going into Orange County. I haven't been there in a while. I'm really excited to do that and see a bunch of people, and we're going to go over some really great stuff, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to share some of the information that I know that's happening with Nerium in the next 3 months, and that's a whole other conversation I'm going to have with you guys at another time next week. But there's a lot of exciting stuff coming with Nerium, and it's good. It's good for all of us, you guys. It's really good for all of us. And before I leave you, what I wanted to do was I wanted to show you this video, and I know some of you have probably already seen it, but I want to show it to you because it's something you can share with your teams and you can send out. And this is what's happening in Las Vegas.
Is taking over Vegas for our first global conference ever. Come make history as you build your future. Imagine being inspired by great leaders.
There's just no place else I'd rather be than where we are right now, right here, okay?
Imagine learning from the best.
The next wave of leaders inside of this company is sitting in this room.
Imagine being the first to know.
Are you guys ready for some new product announcements?
Imagine believing in yourself.
And I just want you to know that I'm so proud to be associated with an amazing group of people like you guys. You're awesome.
You can achieve and do anything that you want as long as you believe in yourself.
Imagine living your best life.
We are leading the happiness movement.
Imagine making life-changing global connections. Imagine having more fun than ever. Be part of something big. Get real, Las Vegas. No boundaries. July 19th to the 21st. Register today.
So if you haven't had the opportunity to register, or there's some people on your team that you want to have come with you, now's a good time to start doing that. I kind of told my story yesterday about, not really getting how important it was to get there. And I think this is going to be a pretty incredible, in fact, I know it's going to be an incredible conference, because I know that Nerium is, going to be at their very heightened best. I know they're working on comp plan. I know they have a couple of wellness products they're going to roll out. I know that they are very focused on trying to make every single brand partner money and successful. And I've had the opportunity to talk with the leadership about that in the last couple of days. So what I can say to you is we have about 3.5 months until this happens. And I would make your reservations, and I would help somebody else do the same thing. The more people we have at the convention in our teams, the better it is for all of us when we come home. And we have a team of people. And just recently, and I'm really honest about this, I've had a lot of, difficulties in the last year recruiting. And I was a very big recruiter with Nerium. I've recruited many, many, many people into the company. And I've always, thought, I really thought, I'm a pretty good recruiter and stuff. And I kind of had a time where I didn't really recruit at all. And in the last 2 weeks, I've talked to like 5 people that have literally come to me and said, I'm really looking for something, Annie. And I say to them very casually, I might have something that you're interested in. I'd love to show it to you. And they're like, that sounds great. And I said, okay, great. We'll set it up and we'll get together. So for me, I had a lull. I didn't beat up myself. I didn't say, oh my God, I'm no good at this. I didn't say any of those things. I said, you know what? I'm going to focus on what I can do. I'm going to focus on helping my customers. I'm going to focus on helping myself and building myself and personally developing myself. I'm going to focus in on the people that want my help. And I'm going to focus in on doing the very best I can do. But the last thing in the world I'm going to do is beat myself up about what I can't do. I'm going to do the things I can do. And because of that, I feel like it was a good period in my life where I was able to, really go over the things that made sense to me, and then receive the people that were interested. So I met a whole bunch of new people, and I went deeper in all of my relationships with my tennis and my charities. And I got out of my comfort zone. I really did. I'm being really real. I got out of my comfort zone, and it's not easy to do. So all I'm suggesting is when you get involved in certain things like social media and things that maybe you're not comfortable with, or it takes time, it doesn't happen overnight. Okay, it takes time to cultivate the knowledge. It takes time to get good at it. It takes time to really, work it so that that it works within your life, to learn how to schedule it, to learn how to be consistent with it. These are things that are not easy to do, but as people together, that we come together every single day and we try to do better, eventually it starts to work. So don't be impatient if it's not always working as you want it, and don't think that there's anything wrong because it isn't happening as fast as you want it to. Just keep doing what you're doing, keep focused, and you know what? Let's all just really help people do something that they're interested in, and I guarantee you it'll open up for you. So that's our Zoom today. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. For those of you that are in Orange County, or if you know anybody in Orange County, please send them my way, because I would love to see everybody. And I really, really appreciate you guys showing up today. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your comments too. Anyway, does anyone have any comments or anything to share?
Annie, I do. It's Janet. I just want to say I haven't been on in a while, and I truly miss everybody. But, I can very much relate to what you were sharing about, being, sometimes we call it a dry spell or whatever we want to call it. But the beautiful thing, because I've been in this business now for almost 6 years. In July, it'll be 6 years. And, excuse me, what I just absolutely love is this business meets us where we're at. So, I too have not been beating myself up because I've not been recruiting, 1 to 2 people a month every month. Okay, that's what happens sometimes because life is going on in all of our lives. So I just know that right now, because I've been in this industry before, back in my 20s, totally different time right now in this type of day and age with social media and all. But I truly believe, you guys, that this is the time to just break out, because Miriam is on the verge of a really huge tipping point. I really, truly believe that with my heart. And I know that the people that are engaged and choose to get engaged and choose to get out of their comfort zone will definitely, definitely win. And I would highly suggest that everybody get to that conference, because that is where the magic is going to happen. That is where we're going to get new tools. We're going to get new products. I know myself personally, I'm already registered and I've got my room, and I'm just excited, and a lot of my team is excited. So just engage where you can and when you can, you guys. I love you. I miss you all. And I can't wait to see you, Annie, tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I agree with you. Go ahead.
Yep.
Anybody else have anything to share?
Hey, Annie, this is Trisha. I just wanted to thank you for doing this today, because I have struggled myself with social media and doing a page, or should I do a group for customers or do a public page, and everything that you talked about today was so helpful. And I have the page set up. I just need to be consistent with it, and I think that a lot of your tips are going to help a lot of us that have been a little foggy on what to do about that. So I so appreciate that. And I was on that Zoom with you yesterday, and there is some great stuff coming. I mean, we didn't get details of any of the new programs or compensation or my biggest, I think the thing that I was the most excited about is that Bo talked a little bit about, a new customer retention program for us. And he said we can share that. We don't know any details, but I cannot be more excited about what's coming in conference. And so thank you all so much. And everybody get to Vegas. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. And you know what, Trish, what was really great about, and this is really the truth. I mean, I think that with everything that's gone on with Miriam in the last couple of years and people leaving and all this mishigash that goes on, one of the things I like best about what's happening now is that this company has not sat back and said, well, whatever, it's okay. We'll just, continue doing what we're doing. They didn't take that approach. They said, you know what, we have an opportunity now to really make some changes that are going to benefit the field. And we have an opportunity to make ourselves better from a corporate standpoint. And that's what they're doing. And they're going to roll it out in July. And I'm going to say something that's really, was said to me. And I would agree. And as a business owner, I would agree that, if you've been in Nerium for a long time and you've watched a lot of stuff and you're still here, but your mind is sort of like, I don't know if this is real, if this is true, I'm mad, I'm this or that. If you don't have 3 months after 5, 6, 7 years of being in Nerium, building this brand, doing what you're doing, if you don't have 3 months to wait to see and be at that conference and see what they have to roll out, then it's not worth it. It wouldn't have been worth it for you, because really and truthfully, I don't think they're futuring. I think they have worked really hard. I think they want to make a huge, as Janet said, the tipping point, which is a huge deal. I think they are going to really roll out some things that are going to be incredibly beneficial, not only for the brand partner, but for our customers. And I'm really excited about it. And I think, I'm going to be talking about it with all of you and Trish and everybody that's on these Zooms. We have to get it to our field. We have to figure out a way. And I wanted to bring that up on Monday on how we could maybe do a couple of team calls with everybody's teams and get the message out there. Because what we do to really excite and ignite our field with this information is going to make the difference for the future for everybody, and especially the new people that we're bringing in. They don't have any idea what we know, and they don't really care. They just want to have success, and we have an opportunity to do that. So I thank you, Trish, for bringing that up.
Yeah, I agree 1000%. Coming together and really shouting it from the rooftops. And 3 months, like Bo said, I mean, we just keep blinking and it'll be here. It happens so fast. So we all have that time.
Yeah. So that's great. So you guys, we went a little longer today. I apologize, but I'm so happy that to see all of you, and I hope everybody has just an amazing weekend, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thank you, Annie. It was great.
Bye, Thank you, Annie.
Thank you. It was really great.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Good luck
Annie.
tomorrow,
Thanks,
Annie. It'll be
Annie.
awesome.
Bye, Lisa.
Thank you, Annie.
Bye.
Guys.
Appreciate you being our rock.
Thank you, Annie.
Have fun tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Let's talk today.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.